Hi friends, it's Kaylin here at Full Purpose and Heart. Thanks for coming over. I'm really excited about this video today, and it's something that I've been thinking a little bit about for the past couple of weeks. So I'm excited that I get to sit down and chat with you about it today. This video, we are going to talk about a couple of strategies that I think are really important and are really beneficial in trying to stay in tune with ourselves and stay in touch with the human part of us. Sometimes as moms, especially when we get in the groove of running a household and raising little ones, the busyness of life sort of takes over and we tend to come to a place where we feel like we've forgotten who we are or we've lost ourselves in raising our kids. Raising children is a busy job, and it's something that takes a lot of energy and it requires a lot of ourselves. But that doesn't mean that we have to lose ourselves in the job of raising our children. Part of doing that with all of our purpose and with all of our heart means that we also have to take care of ourselves. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 strategies that I use to try and help me stay in tune with that pre-children version of myself so that I can feel fulfilled in all of the aspects of my life. So here we go. Okay, a couple of strategies to talk about in the effort in trying to stay in tune with our pre-child self and like our human self, help us feel a little bit more human and a little less like just a busy mom that has breakfast spilled all across our fronts and laundry piles all over the place. Like I talked about in my introduction, there is so much that comes in trying to raise children, and especially when we're trying to do it with intention and with full purpose, that we come to a crossroad sometimes on a daily basis where we feel like, what am I doing? Where am I? Like, where did I go? The me that I knew before I had kids. So a couple of strategies let's talk about that I do, or I try to implement, some on a daily basis and a few on a weekly basis to help me feel more like myself. So the first strategy, and the one that I think is the most important and the easiest to start, is to get dressed and do your hair every single day. Now, this is something that we used to do all of the time, especially if you've watched my videos or followed along with me, you know that I was a high school teacher before I was married and had kids. Being a full-time working individual person, no matter what your job is, it's important that you get dressed and you go to work feeling presentable every day. Also, in that chapter of life, I was trying to catch a beau, so I was always trying to look nice. And there's a lot of benefit that comes to doing that. You just build confidence and you feel good about yourself. Well, then we have kids and we start running a household, and somewhere along that timeline, we have lost the habit of getting dressed every morning. Sometimes I'll go to the grocery store and it'll be 11, 12, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and there will be moms there with their little ones who have not yet gotten ready for the day. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get ready every time before you go to the store, but I would encourage you to do it because there is such a benefit that comes when you feel like yourself, when you feel good about yourself, and when your hair is done and your clothes are on, and it really does help kind of build your confidence and give you that extra internal boost to help you feel more like yourself. And I don't know like any psychology behind it or why it happens like that, but I really believe that if I make an effort to get dressed every day and to have my hair done every day, I really do feel like myself. And I've been inspired by my mom. She was fantastic at it. She always was dressed and ready every single day, no matter what day it was, Monday through Monday, she always was dressed and ready to go. Kind of as a side note, it also is a benefit for our spouses. I think it's really important that we are always trying to date our spouse and remember that fun romance phase that we were in when we had first met and when we were dating. And being married doesn't change that. I think it's important that we still try to look good for our spouse and we try to catch their attention as we did when we were young and when we were dating. So there is a benefit and there is a great good to ourselves that come when we get dressed every day and when we do our makeup every day. Now, for me, I try to do that before my children get out of bed. It doesn't always happen that way because sometimes I don't get my workout in until kind of mid-morning. But I usually make an effort to have my day clothes on and my hair done and my makeup, because I do wear makeup every day, before 10 o'clock, and certainly before we have our school time start, which is at 9. So anyway, so that's my first strategy and my first tip that I share with you. If you feel like you've lost yourself and you're kind of struggling to find where you are and where's that person that I used to know, I would encourage you to get dressed in clothes that make you feel good, not workout clothes, not cute pajamas, but like real clothes, a pair of jeans or a pair of slacks and a shirt that makes you feel cute, and do your hair every day. So that's the first strategy. Strategy number 2, this one is a little bit harder to do, but I still encourage you to do it on a daily basis. And this is, I call it personal development time. Time that you take to kind of read something, some kind of educational material outside of yourself. This could be a hobby that you're working on. This could be a business strategy or a business tip if you kind of are running your own business. If you are a homeschooler, this could be some curriculum that you're trying to develop or that you're working on or you're pushing forward, just kind of to improve yourself. And the best form of personal development, in my opinion, is spiritual development. So this is time that I take with the Lord every day by reading my scriptures or reading a talk from the modern day prophet, the living prophet, or from any kind of article that has been written by members of my faith, and trying to build myself spiritually. Any time that I can get with the word of the Lord is always a benefit to me, and it really sets a better tone for my day. Now, for some people, this might be done best in the morning. Other times it might be done best in the evening, kind of depending how your day goes. But in my opinion, I feel like it's best done in the morning because it really does invigorate my soul and set the tone for the day. So time for personal development is my second strategy that helps me remember how my adult life and kind of the things that I'm trying to work on as an adult outside of being a mom, which is my first priority, but I can only be a good mom when I'm being a good self, if that makes sense. Okay, so tip number 1, get dressed. Tip number 2, personal development. Okay, so tip number 3. Tip number 3 is more of a weekly strategy, but it can be done daily, kind of depending on what you choose. So strategy number 3 is to find a hobby that you're interested in and exercise or do that hobby one time, at least once a week. And if it's something you can do every day or a little bit every day, then that's fun. Now, I have tons of hobbies, way too many hobbies for me to count. And it's outside of my teaching passion, and it's outside of my being a mom passion. These are things that I enjoy doing. So a couple things, for example, is I really love to quilt, and I do quilting every week with my mother-in-law, and we sit in the basement and my father-in-law watches the kids for me, and I just get some good time with my mom, and we just get to be girls and shoot the breeze and talk about things that are important to me. And she has raised 7 children, so I get to talk to her about raising kids and some things that are on my mind. And it's just a really great time where I get to also do something I love, which is to quilt. Another hobby that I have that I love to do is scrapbooking. I love to take the photos that I've taken and put them into books. I do digital scrapbooking, so I sit behind my computer and I can use that creativity that I have within me to create pages of happiness and joy that I can look back on for years to come. So these are 2 hobbies that I just really enjoy. And then if you want to count teaching as a hobby, which it really is, I do take time, sometimes daily, just to kind of look at teaching strategies and make worksheets and build curriculum, kind of depending on what stage of life that I'm in. So that's also kind of a hobby I like to do. Hobbies are so important. It really does help us remember who we are and get outside of the raising kids life that we live. It's really important, and if you feel like you don't have a hobby, then I really encourage you to start asking around, go to the local library and look at books about hobbies, whether it's gardening or painting or dancing or whatever it is. Take a class or find some other friends and get together and exercise that hobby, do that hobby at least once a week. It's really important that you take time away from your family, away from your kids, to kind of invest in yourselves and invest in your hobbies. It's such a fun thing to do. Your husbands will encourage you to do it, I'm sure. So look for hobbies and really kind of invest in those and invest in yourself, those things that bring you joy. So that's tip number 3, or strategy number 3. Have a hobby and and exercise it or do it. Strategy number 4 is also a very simple strategy, and this is something that I try to do every day. Sometimes depending on the weather, I don't do it every day, but strategy number 3 is to go outside. Period. That's it. Just go outside, and it can be done with your kids. It can be done by yourself. I try to either go for a walk or take my kids to the park. If the weather is bad, I'll just get in the car and drive to a store and walk around a store, whether I have to buy something or not. Getting outside of your house really does help because you interact with other people. You see other people, even if you don't necessarily chat with them, at least you see other people. It kind of takes us back to strategy number 1 in that we're dressed and our hair is done and we feel good about ourselves and we're exuding that confidence. It is so important to get out of the house, and it helps with just kind of, if the sun is out, it helps with vitamin E and you get that kind of internal happy boost. If the weather is bad, you get fresh air anyway. It's just really good to get out of the house and to do something every day, if not at least once a week out of your house. But sometimes it's even just like dropping your kids off at school and taking the walk to school and the walk home. So it's another simple strategy, but I would really encourage it, and it's one that I really try to do every single day, and that is to take a walk, go outside, enjoy the fresh air every single day, okay? So that's number 4. We're on strategy number 5. Okay, so strategy number 5. I couldn't decide exactly on what to do for strategy number 5, so I'm going to include a couple of things under one umbrella, and that is physical fitness or physical health. And thinking about your physical health on a daily basis really does bring a lot of benefits. It kind of piggybacks on a couple of the other strategies in looking good and feeling good and having kind of a good outlook on your life when we are taking care of our bodies. So this can include drinking your water every day. There's lots of different medical professionals who will tell you how much water you're supposed to drink, whether it's so many ounces or so many liters or whatever it is. Try to get in your water every day, depending on who you talk to. I'm not going to say a number because it may be more or less than what you yourself want to drink, but at least more than 32 ounces a day you should be trying to consume. Sometimes I'll go through phases where I'm trying to have 150 ounces of water. Other times I'm trying to drink 4 liters of water. So it just kind of depends on what phase of life that I'm in. But I would really encourage you to try and drink your water, and that would fit under this physical health umbrella. Another thing is exercise. If you're in a position that you can exercise, getting our heart pumping every day, even if it's something as simple as jumping jacks or sit-ups or push-ups, going for a jog outside or going for a walk outside, having that time where our blood is flowing and our heart is working really hard does have great benefits to our bodies. So drink your water, have some kind of physical activity. If you meditate, maybe some meditation would be under that physical health umbrella. So taking some time to try and focus on our physical health, making sure that we eat right, that our diet is good, and we have our fruits and our vegetables and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I can't say do all of that at the same time because it's a little bit overwhelming. But if you choose one, maybe you just want to focus on drinking your water every single day. Have enough water so that you have that water glow and that feeling of health. Maybe you want to increase your physical activity and get your heart pumping strong every day. Then that's one aspect of physical health that you want to focus on. Sometimes if we try to cover everything at once, it's overwhelming and we fail. So choose one and kind of focus on that. So anyway, those are my 5 strategies. And covering them all might be a little bit overwhelming, but some of them are pretty easy that you should be able to do at least 2 and really try to get back to that person that you were before you started having kids. It's so hard sometimes in the busyness of life to remember ourselves and to remember the goodness that we feel when we're not overwhelmed with diapers and dishes and laundry. So I would really encourage you to try and find a couple of things that you enjoy so that you can remember, I do love my job as a mom, but I also love who I am. And I can give the best of myself to my children when I'm taking some time to focus on myself. Anyway, I've had a really good time chatting about this with you guys, and hopefully you feel some encouragement. Please like this video if you liked it. Let me know how you thought about the strategies that I've shared. If you have additional strategies that you really believe in and that have worked really well for you, I would love to hear them. So leave a comment below so that I can add them to my list of things that I'm trying to work on so that I can remember the me that is inside all of this raising kids and running a household responsibility that I have. Be sure to subscribe if you would like to have more videos like this, and ring that little bell if you want to be alerted every time that I post a video, because I do try to post them quite frequently. Okay, it's been great talking to you guys, and hopefully you have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.